Where were you born, buddy?
I was born in Brentwood, New York.
And what kind of house did you live in? Describe your family situation.
My mom had a home in Long Island, and there were 6 of us, 5 boys, 1 girl, and my mom. There were 7 of us.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of neighborhood was it?
It was, I was blessed in the sense that it was mixed. You had blacks, whites, Puerto Ricans, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with every race possible.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And what kind of kid were you?
That's a good part about living in New York.
Yeah, it's true. I came up in a place just like that, man.
Where at?
In Waterbury, Connecticut.
Oh, okay, you ain't too far then.
No, not far.
I won like one of my first big tournaments in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in 1979.
Yeah, wow.
I won the national PAL tournament in 1979 in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Who'd you beat there? You remember?
I don't remember who I beat there. I'm not gonna lie, but at that time, Bridgeport PAL had a kid by the name of Charlie Klingscales. I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
And I wound up fighting him the next year in the same tournament in Indiana.
Oh, wow.
He was like the hero of the Bridgeport PAL, but I beat him.
Yeah.
He was tall, nice guy, man, but, he could fight his ass off. He didn't have the best defense in the world, but, he could fight. And I happened to beat him a decision.
Uh-huh. You come through Connecticut still ever?
Every now and then I shoot through there.
Yeah. Not too much talent now. It's sad, man. Used to be a lot of gyms and stuff in Connecticut and Waterbury, but not no more. I guess it's all over. What kind of kid were you, buddy?
Well, I don't know, man. I got into I didn't really get into big trouble because I had an older brother who really kept my ass in check. And my dad, even though him and my mother wasn't together, everybody knew my father. Everybody in the neighborhood knew my mother and father. Because, see, my father when my mother and father lived together, when I was a kid, my father used to bootleg liquor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, our house was like the house to go, especially on Sundays.
Yeah.
If he was a drinker, so everybody would come to the house. But my father was also a pool hustler and a professional gambler. My father could go take $20 and come home with money for the mortgage. He was a professional cheat, man. My father, his nickname was Magoo. Yeah, that's what everyone called him, Magoo, because my father was always into something. But, we knew what it takes to take care of the family.
Yeah. So what was it? It was Magoo McGirt?
No, his nickname was Magoo.
Oh, okay.
So then when he died, they gave it to me.
Uh-huh.
So if you notice, when I boxed on my trunks, I had Magoo on the trunks.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because, that was my dad's nickname. They passed it on to me, but in my eyes, there's only one Magoo, and that was him.
Man was a king, I guess.
No, my father was a man. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knew my father, so no matter what I did, people would say, ain't you Magoo's son? I'd be like, fuck, man. I'm like, yeah. They're like, what would your father say if we tell him you was here? I wasn't a saint, but at the same time, I didn't get in no major trouble. I was scared of my mother. Hold on, can you hold 1 second?
Yep.
Get in no major trouble because I was scared of my mother. I was scared of my brother and my dad. Out of all of them, I was scared of my brother the most.
What would he do to you?
Kick my ass.
Yeah. Beat you.
He didn't tolerate no bullshit. He was the brother that he saw something in me.
Yeah. He was your Vitaly. He was your Vitaly Klitschko.
Yeah, he saw something in me. No, he not. Vitaly had shit on my brother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My brother was, I'm telling you, I mean, he was the type that if he saw me hanging out on the block with my friends, he would come up there and say, you got 2 minutes to get off this block. And that meant 30 seconds.
Mm.
Because if I was there, when he came back 30 seconds later, there was no talking.
Mm.
And he didn't care what my mother said. He didn't care what my father said. He was kicking my ass.
Mm.
If he see me in any situations he felt I didn't belong, he'd step up to the plate. He didn't mess around, man. And he was, my brother's an interesting guy, man. He died young.
Oh, did he?
He died at 26. You know what I mean? And, but till the day he died, I will say that he was my number one fan.
Yeah.
He used to make bets with guys in a bar or wherever they were hanging out about certain guys who fought each other. And as crazy as it may sound, he would come to the house at 11 or 12 o'clock at night with the guys because he knew I just had this big collection of boxing magazines.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be like, did so-and-so fight this guy? But like, no. So if he bet the guy, say, $50, and we was right, I get $10 out of him. He'd slide me $10.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the type of fan that, he's the type of brother that I miss. I mean, but that I needed, I can say.
Mm-hmm. What year did he pass?
1985, October 18th.
Wow.
He was 26 years old.
A long time, huh?
Yeah, he died from AIDS, my brother. He used to shoot heroin.
Yeah. Rough.
But he fought it to the day, he fought it. He was a tough son of a bitch, man, I tell you.
Yeah.
He lost his hand when he was 19 years old on an accident on his job.
That'll mess you up.
He refused to take that. He refused to have a handicap sticker. And he refused to stop working. He did not want to be treated as a handicap.
Wow.
But but he was my man. His nickname for me was Headquarters, because I got a big head. He used to call me Headquarters.
I wondered if you knew you had a big head. I would always think it.
And listen, I've heard all the head jokes as a kid.
Yeah.
He used to call me Headquarters, and my cousin used to call me Brains, because I used to remember everything.
Yeah. Smart guy. You could tell how you fought too. Yeah, man.
But,
And how old were you when you first went to a gym? Who got you interested anyway?
I was as a kid growing up, I always wanted to do something with my life. I just always had this dream of. I've always loved cars, and I've always loved doing something to make my mom proud of me.
Mm-hmm.
But she had 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl. Both my older brothers, we all graduated high school. My mom was on our ass, but she was, even though my father was there, he didn't live with us. So moms and pops, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She worked nights for over 30 years at a mental institution, so she could be home in the daytime for us.
Yeah.
So if we got in trouble in school, and they called her and woke her up, that was an instant ass whooping. There was no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Yeah.
When she came to that school, and you know that when you got off that bus, you was getting your ass whipped.
Yeah.
So I just always, and I had a cousin. It's funny. I had a cousin who boxed. He even boxed professionally, and every time we went to my uncle's house, my uncle used to always brag about him. And my cousin had a lot of trophies. I was like, shit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get those trophies. I want to make my mother proud. So I tried football first. But I was too small. And you ready for this? They couldn't find a helmet to fit my head. True story, bro. I'm telling you. They couldn't find a helmet. They had to go to the high school to get a helmet. I'm only 11 years old. With a big head and an afro. In the 70s, the afros was the shit, so. And then one day I was at this place called the Brentwood Recreation Center. And they had weightlifting. When I was 11, 12, I weighed like 70 pounds soaking wet. So I started lifting weights. But right next to it was the boxing gym where they had pros.
Yeah.
And they said, they got boxing for kids starting next month. I said, when next month? They said, January 17th. And you have to be 12 years old. Well, guess what?
What's that?
January 17th was my birthday.
Wow.
And I turned 12.
That's it.
So,
the chosen one.
I was raised Catholic, so that Saturday morning, I had to go to religion that morning. And the funny thing was, religion was over at 11, boxing was at noon. It was like it all fell in place for me. So I walked from the church to the gym. And I started boxing. And I had my first fight February 21st, 1976, a month later. I fought a kid named Ricky Randazzo from Center Reach, Long Island. I was 12, he was 16.
Wow.
And we fought to a draw. And the funny thing is, we sparred at least twice a week until we fought the following month.
Wow.
But I just remember like it was yesterday, man, you know, and I walked home with my hand wraps on.
And you loved it.
Yeah, I said, Ma, I got a draw. She said, did you win? I said, I got a draw, but I didn't win, I didn't lose. I got a draw, but I fought a boy 16. She's like, what? I said, he was 16 years old. But, you know, back then, they didn't have what they have now. You know, you got to have the AAU card. Back then, if you looked like you weighed the same, you fought.
Yeah.
And, you know, and from that day on, man, you know, it was my dream, man. We had a gentleman in the gym. He was a pro fighter. He was a Greek guy. His name was George Fakaris. And I admired him because I thought at that time that all pro fighters were rich. Little did I know.
And how old were you when you went to the gym the first time?
12.
Okay, so you were good right away then?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny that the guy, his name was Gene Moore, my first coach. He told one of the guys in the gym, this kid is the best kid out of everybody.
Wow.
And, you know, I used to be in the gym watching the pros, and then we'd train. And then I had a few fights with Gene. And then one day they closed it down. And then I had to go, then I joined the Suffolk County PAL, which was in Babylon. They used to pick me up and take me to the gym. They used to have the PAL man come pick me up. So, you know, so it was interesting, but it was fun.
Yeah. What was the amateur scene like when you were coming up? Who was in the age?
The hot amateur when I was coming up was Mark Breland.
Yeah.
You know, and so we never had got the chance to fight. But that's when I was like 16. But between the age of like say 12 and like 15, it was mainly, you know, you go in the Spanish gloves, you go in the kid gloves. John Condon, God bless him, he had a tournament called the Kid Gloves. And he would set a ring up in the roughest neighborhoods in New York. In the projects, in the streets of Harlem, the Bronx, Port Apache. He would set the ring up there, and all the teams from all over New York would come, and they'd fight. And it's called the Kid Gloves. Get you ready for the Golden Gloves. But one of the biggest things of the Kid Gloves was Vidal Sassoon was sponsoring it. So if you joined the Kid Gloves and fought, you get a Vidal Sassoon shirt, a Vidal Sassoon pair of jeans.
That's a deal, right?
So how many kids from the hood can afford that?
Yeah.
So shit, I'm like, I'm joining that fucking. I just one day, I wore that shirt till that fucking symbol wore out. But it gave us incentive, and it was a lot of fun. It was a hell of an experience. But I got to tell you, I remember I fought my first fight in the Kid Gloves. I fought a guy named Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
And we fought in the project in Spanish Harlem, right where he was from.
Yeah.
So the ring, where the ring was set up, you know, everyone's on the fire escape, looking out. Now I'm from Long Island. Now, I think the neighborhood I'm in is rough. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, shit, I never been to this shit. I'm 13, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I ain't never seen no shit like this. And every time I hit him, the crowd didn't like it too much. So I said, well, buddy, don't hit him in the goddamn one, because you want to get out of here with your Vidal Sassoon shit. So, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience, man. I mean, it's not like that anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. I know.
But it was a lot of fun, man. I mean, you can be like the 50th bout of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and then in '77, a guy named what was it? Let me think. I don't want to lie. 76. I'm lying. 76.
Mm-hmm.
A guy named Mickey Rosario, who still has a gym in the Jefferson Projects.
Mm-hmm.
They took me to the Ohio State Fair.
Yeah.
Now I'm 12 years old. I get in a van with a bunch of guys from Harlem, and we go to Ohio State Fair. And I was the tournament. It was a big tournament. I mean, Tommy Hearns was there. Tony Tubbs was there. I mean, anybody you could think of was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big tournament.
Oh man, we stayed at Columbus University.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I was the 99th bout in the ring 3 the first night.
Mm-hmm.
I won. It rained the whole day. It was muddy. They had three rings set up. They had a bell, a buzzer, and a whistle.
Mm-hmm.
No, a bell, a buzzer, and a horn. And it was fun, man. It was a great experience. So I got to experience all those things coming up in the amateurs, man. It was different, but it was fun.
Yeah. Did you have any international fights as an amateur?
No, you know what? By the time I got 16, Mark Grillen was the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, okay, buddy, if you win the Spanish gloves, you're going to go to Santo Domingo. I win the Spanish gloves, Mark Grillen gets a trip.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even fight in the Spanish gloves.
No.
But they loved him.
Yeah.
They loved Mark. So, I mean, I never won the Golden Gloves, so they loved Mark. So, I mean, so I never got the international experience until I turned pro.
Yeah. What was your total amateur record?
54 wins.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait a minute. 53 wins. 9 losses, 1 draw.
Oh, that's good, man. That's great. I didn't even know you had that many fights as an amateur. I didn't know.
Yeah, 63.
Yeah.
No, we had smoker shows like this, man. So, like, I fought once on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I fought the next day on Saturday.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
2 different shows.
No more.
Nah, hell no.
And what made you decide to turn pro when you did?
Well, my father had just passed away, and my girlfriend was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I was a senior in high school, and I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do? I'm not trying to get no 9 to 5. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna try for the Olympics. I mean, that's 2 years down the road, and I got a kid on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I got to turn pro. And so I did.
Yeah. And who'd you fight, and what was the result, and where was it? You remember all that?
Yes, sir. My first pro fight was March 2nd, 1982.
Yeah.
They called me a week before the fight.
Mm-hmm.
For the kid named Lamont Haith Coach. Before in North Bergen, New Jersey at the Embassy Hall.
Okay,
It was 4-0 or 5-0, something like that. I can't remember. But I know he's undefeated.
Yeah. Wow.
And you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Fought to a draw.
Wow. Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
I got $200. I got $200 my first pro fight.
Yeah.
I thought I was rich. I thought I was 18 in high school, $200. Shit, I'm good.
Yeah.
That shit was going 2 days later.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't give a kid that much money. Gonna go on a shopping.
No, I had a pregnant. You know what it was? I had a pregnant girlfriend.
Yeah.
Her parents kicked her out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to pay rent wherever she was staying.
Yeah. So you were already mature though, right? You were trying to do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had no choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So how come the guy was able to fight a draw with you? Because he had that experience? Did you feel his experience?
I won the fight, really.
Yeah.
But he was the favorite because he was the ticket seller.
Mm-hmm.
Al Serta, who wound up being my manager, was the promoter, and he had the kid. And they called me in as an opponent. I mean, they called me a week before the fight. Like, buddy, we got to fight for. I was doing my homework from school, and they said, we got to fight for. I said, when? They said, next week. I said, I'm there. And shit, I went to Jersey, met Al. Then I went home, trained, no spawn. I hit the heavy bag, and then I went to school that day. After school, my manager picked me up, drove me to New Jersey. I fought my ass off for 4 rounds. Came back, went to school the next day.
Wow. So Al Serta didn't train you yet?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
How many fights you had when he started training you?
What happened was after that fight, my manager named Stu Wiener, he saw the guy named Dominic Amorosa, who was training fighters for Al Serta. And he said, buddy, that guy Dominic, I want him to train you. So we drove to Jersey, we met with Al. Al took us to Hoboken, we met with Dominic. And Dominic, every guy Dominic had won that day. So Stewie says, Dominic, I want you to train this kid. So Dominic said, okay, I'll train him, but there's only one problem. Dominic said, he lives in Long Island, I live in Jersey. How's he going to do that? So my manager Stewie said, well, you got to travel. So Dominic says, I get here 4:30 every day. I said, I can get there by 4:30, 5 o'clock. I said, I get out of school, I jump on the train to Brentwood, take the train to Manhattan, take the pair train to Hoboken, and I had to walk 2 miles to the gym.
Wow.
I did that my whole senior year of high school.
You're dedicated. You wanted to be there.
Yeah. And then afterwards, after I train, I go back home.
Yeah.
Then I had my second pro fight, May 1982. For a guy named Michael Palms from Atlantic City at Harris Casino. And I got $675
Wow.
for the fight.
that sounds good.
It was the week before my prom.
Wow. So it was a good prom.
You couldn't tell me shit. You couldn't tell me shit. I went to the bank, got me 100 singles. Bought 100 around the 100 singles. You thought I'd have not. I went to the prom and I had fun. My girlfriend was pregnant. Prom night, everyone's thinking about getting some ass. Shit, my girl's already pregnant, so it wasn't no fun for me.
You had your fun pre-prom. That's when.
Yeah, exactly.
Was she big at the time too?
Yeah, she was starting to show.
Yeah. Man. So then you won 27 more fights. You had like a 28 fight win streak after that. First fight was a draw.
Yeah.
And then you fought Pete Padilla at the Old Felt Forum. And that was your first time going 10 rounds. You stopped him at 10.
But it was an experience because he was slick. That motherfucker was slick as axle grease, man.
Yeah. How'd it feel going 10 rounds for the first time?
You know what, man? To be honest with you, after the 5th round, you kind of go in the zone that it don't matter. You don't think about the rounds. Plus, if you think about them, you get tired. So I didn't think about going to 10 rounds. I mean, I just said, after 5 rounds, I was in such a zone because everyone had told me how slick he was. And early in the fight, I couldn't really hit him a clean shot. So I already had in my mind, I'm going 10 rounds with this motherfucker. Just let me focus on the body. I just kept focusing on his body. I know it was a good body puncher. Then by round 8, I started to catch him up top, and I said to myself, I might get this motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then in the 9th round, I had him with some pretty good shots in the 9th. I remember the shit like it was yesterday. And I said, I'm going to get this motherfucker out of here the next round. And the referee was Larry Hazard. And, you know, but it was good. I mean, you know, Dominic Amoroso was training me at the time, and the one thing about Dominic, when you got in that ring with Dominic, you was in good shape. Yeah, Dominic didn't take no shit, man.
Wow.
I mean, everything I learned from Dominic.
And how many fights did you have when El Cerdo took over as trainer?
I had over 30 fights.
Oh, okay. So.
And Alan Dominic had a falling out. And Dominic stepped aside. But I will say this for him. He was in that gym every day I was training. He would just stand in the corner and look at me. Because Al Soda really didn't train me. He just was there giving me my mouthpiece and telling me what to do. By that time, I was already polished. And everything Dominic had taught me, I had instilled in myself. And from talking with other trainers, I was just able just to put it all together.
Is he still around?
Now, Dominic just died. Dominic died in February.
Terrible.
He was 90-something years old.
Oh, blessed man, though.
Yeah, but we used to speak all the time. We used to talk all the time. Even when I was training fighters, me and Dominic used to talk.
Oh, you're not training fighters anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said when you were training fighters.
No, okay, let me start when I started training fighters.
Okay. And you fought for your first title against a guy who's 1-1, a guy named Sugar Boy Nando. How come he was fighting for a title already? Or 1-1?
He wasn't 1-1.
Oh, no?
No, that's not true. No.
Oh, okay. That's what it said.
Hold on 1 second, man. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, please.
What was Sugar Boy Nando's record?
I really don't know, but I know at that time, he had at least 20 fights.
Okay.
Because he had won the Caribbean Championship before I fought him.
And what kind of fighter was he? I was going to ask you. I'm sorry.
There was nothing flashy about him. He just had a decent record that enabled me to. I got a G. It was a hit. No, take that. Oh, you said take the trash out. Oh, the car? Okay. He had a decent record that looked good for me because we fought in Miami. So he had a decent record. I would say he was like 20-1 or 19-1.
Okay.
I'm doing an interview, baby. But I know he was not 1-1. I wouldn't even have fought a guy 1-1. That would have been like an insult.
Yeah. I thought maybe it was like a last second substitute.
No. No, that fight was made in November of '85. And I trained. And then we came to Miami for a week. We was in Miami like a week before the fight. We was in Miami. And he came in because they had a bunch of guys from the Bahamas fighting that night.
Okay.
I mean, on the same show. And there was one guy, I can't remember his name right now, from New York, who was a middleweight, who fought on the same show. He fought a guy from the Bahamas. And that boxing that last week I was in Miami. We trained at the 5th Street Gym before they tore it down.
Okay. Wow. A legendary gym.
Yeah.
And what was that like, training there? Who did you train with?
What was good about training in that gym was there was a guy there who used to shine shoes, and he used to make the rag pop to a certain pop. And it was interesting, man. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
It was a great experience, you know.
And how'd you feel after you stopped Sugar Boy Nando and you're holding your first world title? Your first.
No, you know what? It wasn't a title.
What was that?
It might have been listed as a title fight, but I didn't come home with no belt.
So was it announced as a title fight then?
You know what? I can't. You know what? I don't know. But I know I didn't come home with no belt. I can tell you that. I mean, that I know for a fact. I stopped them. I can't remember what round it was, but I stopped them. And it was an interesting week in Florida for me. It was a lot of fun. I met some people from New York that were there on vacation, and believe it or not, till this day we're still friends.
Oh yeah, wow.
It was a young lady. She was there with her mother and her brother, and she had family that lived in my neighborhood. They were from the Bronx. And we became friends, and we stayed in touch ever since then.
That's cool. See, that's how you know who a good guy is. Someone who keeps friends for that many years. You know?
Thank you. And the funny thing is that when we left Florida, when we was leaving Florida at the airport, let me see. Well, I can't think of it. They had some bootleg airlines back then. I can't think of the name of it right now. You can fly like $99, and it was a snowstorm in New York, so they was canceling flights. It was like 3 days before Christmas. I'm like, man, I gotta get home. But I got on the plane, and man, we came home and it was a blizzard. We flew into Newark. It was a blizzard, man. I mean, but you know, it was, you know, like I say, it was a lot of fun, man. It just brings back a lot of memories when you mention it. You know, not too many people that I do interviews with mention those fights. You know, like People D and Sugar Boy Nando.
Yeah, man. I love my history. You know?
Okay.
You're a legend. You gotta go back, get some things out. You know? Then you fought Ricky Young at the Garden. How'd you feel knowing you'd be fighting at the Garden?
Man, let me tell you, that was like, I can say honestly, that was like one of the highlights of my career, because Mike Tyson fought Mitch Green that night. But the funny thing was, in 1983, we was in camp in Grossinger's. That's when I first met Tyson, and he was boxing with Frank Bruno. Tyson was 16. And Al Serta said to me, buddy, we could be looking at the next greatest heavyweight ever. He was 16 years old. He was brought in as a sparring partner for Frank Bruno.
Wow.
And he was kicking the shit out of Frank Bruno.
Just like in the pro.
I'm telling you, he was kicking his ass, man. But there was one guy, it's funny, there was one guy they would not let Mike box with, and God bless him, he's dead now, named Jeff Sims. They would not let Mike Tyson box Jeff Sims. He would box Quick Tillis, because Quick Tillis was there. That's when I met Quick Tillis, Young Joe Louis, Jeff Sims, met Tyson, Michael Spinks, because Michael Spinks was training for a fight. And it was a great experience. But when I fought Ricky Young, we had a rivalry. Because earlier, like in 83, 84, he kept getting shots at the New York State title against the guy Andrew Cruz. I could never get the shot. Every time I get ready to fight Andrew Cruz, 3 times I trained for Andrew Cruz, and 3 times he pulled out a week before the fight. Could never get the fight with him, but then on the next show, Ricky Young would get the goddamn fight. But Ricky Young could never beat him.
Wow.
Like, fuck, man, you know what I'm saying? So Ricky Young talking a lot of trash for the fight. You know what I mean? And he had a trainer, Mike Chestnut, God bless him. And they were talking trash, man. They were going to do this to me, and they're going to do that. I'm like, man, I'm going to kick your ass, Ricky. And he said, okay, I'm going to give you a whole Harlem ass whooping. You know what I mean? He was just running his mouth. I said, okay. So I was boxing with Matthew Hilton, who was a junior middleweight.
Big.
But when we were sparring, he was weighing about 170 pounds. And 10 days before the fight, he bruised my ribs. I said, shit, I can't pull out. I'm getting $7,500, man. This is my biggest payday, $7,500. I'm thinking, you know what I can do with $7,500? Shit. So, you know, I took the fight, and we fought at the Big Garden. And at the end of the first round, he hit me with a left hook right on the fucking rib. I'm like, son of a bitch. But as the fight went on, I wore his ass down. And I wound up knocking him out in the 10th round.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, after I stopped him, his trainer jumped in the ring and said, I bet you can't knock me out. I was like, ain't this some shit, man? God damn. But you know, at that time, I was so happy with the 7,500. Mitch Green got 50,000 and Tyson got about 2 million.
Wow. Didn't make out like Tyson that night.
Nah, hell to the no. Only thing happened was I scored a knockout. Tyson didn't. He didn't knock out Mitch.
No, he didn't. Knocked him out in the street a couple months later. A year later?
Yeah. Yep, something like that.
Then.
So, you know, once I beat Ricky Young, you know, it kind of had me on my way.
Yeah. How'd you feel at that point in your career? Did you feel like you were ready for anything?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was ready, but 2 fights later I found that I wasn't.
Yeah. Against Frankie Warren.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that first fight with Frankie Warren? You fought him twice, right? You avenged him.
Yeah. The first time, I was used to going at guys, knocking them out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Al took over. So I wasn't with Dominic. And Al was like pretty much me just relying on my talent.
Mm-hmm.
But one day when I'm in the gym, and Al says, buddy, I got this guy here's going to show you some moves. He's an old fighter. Mm-hmm. And this guy is showing me a move. And every time he showed me a move, he hit me. You know? I didn't sit on the first time, second time, third time. I said, Al, if this motherfucker hit me again, I'm going to hit him back. I'm like, no, kid, you can't hit him. I said, Al, I'm tired of this motherfucker hitting me. So then, next time he went to throw a punch, I blocked it. And I got out the ring. He said, Al, talk to the kid. I was like, but that's Al, fuck him. I'm not fuck him. He ain't showing me shit. So Dominic pulled me to the side. The kid, listen. If you don't let this man show you what he's showing you, he said, I was going to catch hell later. I said, Dominic, what the fuck you talking about? He said, brother, it's the mob boss.
Mm.
Guy was a mob boss.
Yeah.
Name was Johnny DiGilio. I said, but Dominic, man, I said, this motherfucker keeps hitting me, man. I'm not here to get fucking hit. He said, buddy, please. He said, do it for me. I said, Dominic. So I go, you know, and the man showed me the moves. But anyway, in the fight, you know, Frankie Warren jumps on me. Boom, he's hit me everywhere but the bottom of my feet. He's hit me on my hips, thighs, back. I'm like, fuck. Then the 7th round, I said, hold up, man, I got to switch up tactics here. At that point in my career, I didn't know that, hey, I got to make adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
So after the end of the 7th round, I started boxing. I started beating the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. So rounds 8, 9, 10, I whooped his ass. Mm-hmm. Rounds 8, 9, 10, I beat the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was too late.
Yeah.
He got the victory. I was like, fuck, man, you know. I said, okay. I said, now I know I can box.
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I go home. I said, I got to get me a fight, man. I can't live with this defeat.
Mm.
He said, okay, kid. So I come back, I fight Sal Mamby,
Mm-hmm.
who's a former world champ. I mean, smart boxer. So we went to Gleason's gym. We was training Gleason. And I met Hector Roca. So one day Al says, buddy, I can't make it to the gym tomorrow. I said, I want that guy Hector to work with me while you're gone. He said, okay. So I'm in the back. I started boxing the back. Hector was like, there you go. That's it. Hector said, okay, now do this. Try this. Try that. Started trying. I'm like, oh, shit. This shit fits in good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, fuck. This shit is much easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fought Sal Mamby. And going into the fight with Sal Mamby, believe it or not, I was an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
But I beat him easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you know, when I got the Frankie Warren. I'm like, I got your ass now, Frankie.
You tell him that?
But the funny thing is, after I lost to him, Georgie Benton, who trained him, God bless him, and me and Georgie were good friends, and Georgie told me what I did wrong after the fight. So I always kept that in my mind. Georgie said, yeah, man, you're a good boxer, man. You should go and practice that, man. You're not a puncher. Because, you know, I was knocking everybody out.
Yeah.
Georgie said, you're a good boxer, man. You use your legs, use your skills. And then, bam, I picked up on that, and after that, I started boxing more. And then, so when we had the rematch with Frankie Warren, at the weigh-in, I said to Georgie Benton, I said, hey, Georgie, he said, what? I said, I remember what you told me 2 years ago. He shook his head. Me and Georgie were good friends. I mean, I love George. I think he's one of the greatest trainers ever to ever live.
Yeah.
You know, it was a tough fight. It was a tough fight with Frankie, but, you know, I won the title.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you won that title and avenged that defeat the same night?
Brother, let me tell you. It took about a month for it to really settle in.
Yeah.
But the fight was so tough, man. I mean, you push your body to limits. Hello, how you doing? Good. You push your body to limits that you didn't think they could go. Now, I'm fighting a 15-round fight. They had me in a ring that was like a phone booth. I'm boxing him and I'm cracking him. I got his eyes shut, but he's still coming. So after round 7, I just like went in the zone. I'm saying to myself, I got 8 more motherfucking rounds. I went into a zone, and the high that you get, like after 9 rounds, 9 and 10, it's hard to really explain.
Yeah.
So I win the fight. We get back to the hotel, and you know, I'm in my room. I got my blood around my waist, but I can't walk. My hips hurt, my thighs hurt, because this motherfucker hit me everywhere. I pissed blood.
Yeah.
So I was banged up.
Yeah. Tough.
My ears were swollen, and my body was beat. My body was just beat up bad.
How good? I'm sorry.
It wasn't good, you know what? It was just tough, man.
Man, was he a good fighter though?
He was a good fighter.
Yeah. Strong.
After I beat him, he beat Mickey Ward.
Yeah.
He was a good fighter, but he was just tough and just non-stop. I mean, the motherfucker just wouldn't stop throwing punches, man.
Wow.
I mean, you know, I knocked him down. This motherfucker got up, both eyes are closed. He jumped right back in my ass. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't let me breathe. I'm going to tell you how bad it was. After the fight, there was a lady there. She was like Miss Corpus Christi. So her and her girlfriend wants to get with me and my friend. We get in the car, we start driving around. They drive to a hotel. I said, Miss, look, what are we doing here? She's like, what do you think? I said, baby, look, I can't help you right now. My body has shut down. So I go back to the hotel, and I see Georgie Benton at the bar. So I said, Georgie, man, I said, look, man, my body's beat up, Georgie, man. I said, what do I do? He said, buddy, listen, go home and rest. He said, don't get no pussy, don't do nothing. So I'm like, Georgie, I said, Georgie, man, I ain't had no pussy in 5 weeks. He said, buddy, listen. He said, listen to me very good, buddy. He says, right now, if you went home and tried to get some pussy, he said, you would last about 30 seconds. He goes, and after that, your body's going to shut down. Your body's going to shut totally down. He said, you took a lot of punches. You won the fight. He said, we took a lot of body punches. He said, did you piss blood? I said, yeah. He said, believe me, your body's not going to be the same. Give your body a good month to recoup. I said, all right, Georgie. So we're going home on the plane, and I'm like, damn, Georgie's right. I'm dead tired, man. I get home, We land, bam, we drive home. And I get home, there's a parade for me, and everybody's cheering me on. I go home, I was Long Island's first champion. I go home, man, I'm in the bed. I'm like, fuck, man, Georgie was right. My girlfriend comes over. She want to get busy. I'm like, baby, listen, I can't do it. But she puts on a negligee and shit, and she's like, what are you talking about? She goes, motherfucker, I ain't seen you in 5 weeks, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, baby, come on. No lie. She got in the bed. She opened her legs, and I felt the heat. It was all over. I busted nut before I could even get my underwear off.
Man.
And she was a ghetto chick from the Long Island City Project.
No, so she was good.
So she was like, she said, no, the fuck you didn't. I said, hey. I said, I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you. But you know something, man? That was in February. You know the next time I got a piece of ass? That was in April.
Wow. Yeah.
It took my body 2 months. 2 months to recoup, man.
Wow.
I mean, I had women throwing it at me like they were mad at it.
Yeah.
But my my mind said yeah.
Yeah.
But the body said, don't even think about it, buddy.
Yeah. Wow.
And I saw Georgie at a fight at the garden. I said, yo, Georgie, man. I said, I listened to you, but I didn't listen. He goes, what'd you do, buddy? I said, I tried to get some, Georgie, but I never made it to home plate. He bust out laughing. He goes, how do you feel? I said, George, I feel like shit. And he was like, buddy, man, you ain't celebrating. I'm like, yo, dog, my body just shut down, man. It just, Georgie told me it was going to happen. He was right. My shit shut down, brother. So, but the first time when I won the title, I really didn't enjoy it. Because I wanted to fight again right away. And it kind of hurt me.
Yeah. What, winning the title hurt you?
No. Wanting to fight again right away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I won the title in February. In May, I was back in camp to fight in June.
Yeah.
Then I got tendonitis in my arm. Postponed the fight. Then I fought Howard Davis in July. And then after I fought Howard Davis in July, I came right back and fought McGirt's in September. I never gave my body time to recoup.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they told my manager, you fight Melchick, you only get Chavez for $1 million. He saw the $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
when you fought Howard Davis, did you feel like you were ready to have a fight at that time?
Oh man, when I fought Howard Davis, I was in good shape.
Yeah. Were you surprised how easy?
I wish I'd have fought Melchick that night.
Yeah.
I knocked him out. I was in great shape.
Yeah. So what do you remember about Howard Davis? That fight?
You got time for a short story?
Yeah.
I sparred Howard Davis in 1981. I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
He was getting ready to spar. He was getting ready to fight Sean O'Grady. So his father was looking for sparring. He said, I'm paying $500 a week. I said, I'm in there. I was 17. $500 a week cash? What?
Yeah. That's great. Sounds good to me.
Strapped to Hempstead. Strapped to Hempstead and Spalding 3 times a week. Getting 500 beans. The second week, Howard Davis had a bad rib. So they pulled out of the fight. Sean O'Grady fought Andy Gannigan, who knocked Sean O'Grady out in the first round. So when I got ready to fight Howard Davis, it was a Long Island battle. He's from Long Island, I'm from Long Island. You know, he's a gold medal winner. I'm the only world champion from Long Island. So it was a battle. But I remember the days that we were sparring back in '81. So I said, if I held my own in 81, I know I can beat this motherfucker in 88.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to training camp, got in great shape. I was ready for him.
Yeah. Were you surprised by the outcome?
I was surprised how early it was.
Yeah.
I thought I'd get him late.
Mm-hmm.
But before the knockdown, which I felt he could have got up between me and you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hit him with a body shot. And I heard him grunt. I said, I got him.
Mm.
But it was about, no lie, man, that day was about 105 degrees outside.
Oh, wow. Those New York summers.
Yeah. So, 105 degrees outside. You got the TV lights and a sold-out form on the inside.
Jeez.
A lot of heat.
Mm-hmm. Like
I said, he ain't gonna take this. He can't take this heat for 15 rounds.
Yeah. And,
So,
yeah, man. And,
but it was great. It was great, though. You know, I mean, look, I can't complain. I had a great time.
yeah. What was the media? How was the local media treating that fight? Was it big turf war type stuff?
Oh yeah, they had free train rides.
Oh yeah.
Long Island Railroad had free train rides from Glen Cove to Penn Station, and from Brentwood to Penn Station.
That's cool, man.
So everybody was coming to the fight. It was sold out. It was great, man.
Yeah, that was great.
So he had Eddie Fudge training him.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal was not to beat Howard Davis. My goal was I got to figure out how I'm gonna beat Eddie Fudge.
Yeah.
See, I'm always
Question.
when I fought guys, I always looked at who was training them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the fighter. I'm worried about the fucking trainer.
Yeah.
So Georgie Ben and Eddie Fudge was in the corner. I'm like, God damn, I got my work cut out for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I respected them so much.
Mm-hmm.
The fighters, no. The trainers, yeah.
Yeah. Tells you something about their style they'll be using too. I mean, you know how Eddie Fudge trains his fighters, you know? What did...
They're the best. Listen,
Yeah.
Eddie Fudge, Georgie Benton, Ray Arcel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could name a few more. The best, man. They're the best guys to ever do it.
What did Eddie Fudge say to you after you beat Howard Davis? Did he say anything to you?
No, he just said good fight. I didn't get to know Eddie Fudge too good till 91.
Mm-hmm.
When I was training to fight Simon Brown. And I was in Vegas, and he was training Mike McCollum to fight James Stoney.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Fudge came to me one day and said, I love the way you train. I love the way you spar. I love how you work on things. So hearing this from a guy like him.
Yeah. Just put you on cloud nine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like, Eddie Fudge is giving me compliments. So by like after the first week, he would be in the gym early to watch me spar, and I would stay late to watch him train Mike McCollum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and after that we became best of friends.
Yeah. Did you and Mike McCallum talk about body shots and stuff?
Me and Mike were friends.
Yeah.
Before that.
Would you guys talk about body shots and how important it is and stuff? Because you guys both went to the body.
I never talked to Mike. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what I used to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just sit and talk to Eddie Fudge for at least an hour a day.
Mm. No, that would make you a genius.
That's how I learned how to fight.
Yeah.
From older trainers, man.
Yeah.
There was a guy, God bless him, named Rocky D.
Mm-hmm.
Out of New York. He trained Mike McCollum. He dropped dead of a heart attack in Gleason's gym.
Mm.
If he was alive, he'd be one of the best trainers ever.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart. So, like, I've had the pleasure of being with guys like Ray Arcel, Eddie, Georgie. The guy that trained Bernard Hopkins, he died.
Bowie Fisher.
Bowie Fisher.
Yeah.
I got to spend time with these guys, man. What I would do, I would pick their brains for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just listen to them and talk to them. I would ask questions. And they would answer them. And I put all that shit in my memory bank.
Yeah.
I mean, and It helped me. It helped me as a fighter and as a trainer.
Mm-hmm. How about James Toney's trainer, Bill Miller? Another great.
Oh, I can't forget Pops. Pops is the man. I met Pops in 1986 in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
He was training Lindell Holmes. But I train James Toney now.
Yeah.
Pops is my man.
Yeah, love his style. He took Bronco McCart too. Bronco McCart was an average fighter and made him above average.
Exactly. You see, that is a great trainer.
Yeah.
Not a guy who gets a fighter who can fight.
Yeah.
No, that's not. All you do is just reminding him of what he can do. But you take a guy like a Bronco McCart, that's a great point. Now I know you know your boxing now.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
And make him a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, like they say, it takes a tough man to make a tender chicken.
And that's it.
Yeah, and he was the Pops Miller, man. You know, he's got Alzheimer's pretty bad now.
Yeah, he's doing bad. I wanted to talk to him, but he's not doing good enough.
Let me tell you, I trained James Toney, you know. And when we do mitts, this motherfucker does moves that are fucking incredible.
Yeah, one of my favorite fighters.
Incredible, man. And fucking.
Yep.
One day we was doing the mitts, I stopped. I said, you know what, nigga, you just don't know how good you fucking really are, man.
Yeah.
He said, what you talking about, motherfucker? So I said, look, nigga, I said, let me tell you something, nigga. If you was to dedicate yourself, just give yourself 2 years. The next year is dedicate yourself. The next year is nigga. Ain't nobody gonna beat you. I said, at heavyweight, but not a 240 heavyweight, a 215, 220 heavyweight. I said, you're not a cruiserweight. You can make the weight, but you can't be effective.
Yeah.
I mean, he just fought a couple months ago. We fought in Memphis. He fought this kid, and the kid was talking all this shit. I told the cat, let me explain something to you, young man. I'm not knocking you as a fighter, but you're going to the big leagues. And after the fight, Mr. Johnson out of Atlantic City, Savannah Johnson's father, he said, buddy, that was like a kid going from the little leagues straight to the major leagues. This guy went for every fake James Toney threw.
Yeah.
If James Toney blinked, this guy flinched.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this motherfucker. I said, come on, James. He said, all right, buddy. I said, just go ahead and get this motherfucker out of there. I said, go right at him in the first round, throw a feint and crack him. He knocked him down. After that, he just beat the shit out of him, and the guy quit.
Yeah, James is
the guy said he hurt his right hand. I said, motherfucker, you ain't hit him with no right hand. That's how you hurt it. You must have hurt it when he was getting wrapped. Because you ain't hit James. I mean, but anyway, I could go on and on, man. But those are the great trainers, man. Today, man, there ain't no fucking great trainers, man. These guys be talking that bullshit, man. It makes my stomach turn.
Yeah, I hear you. Anyone could be a trainer now.
Huh?
Anyone could become a trainer now.
You know what, man?
What's up?
The funny thing about this sport, this is the only sport where a guy can come and throw a towel over his shoulder and say, I'm a trainer.
Yeah.
In football, the guy has either had to have been a college player, a college coach, or a pro player.
Yep.
Basketball, baseball, boxing. If a guy can do the mitts, he's a trainer.
That's it. That's true.
I see motherfuckers. I said Ray Robinson didn't use no mitts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about great fighters, man, I mean, if you, but this makes my stomach turn, man. It's just not the same, man.
No, it isn't.
I don't even watch fights like I used to, man.
I don't know. How do you train your fighters, bud? You watch? Do you watch fights on your fighters' opponents coming up?
You know what? If I never seen them, I said, look, man, just show me one quick video. I don't need to study it. Because the same thing a guy does today, what a guy does in the first round, he's going to do the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, tenth.
Yep.
Ain't nothing going to change.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be the same thing every round. Shut up. You better watch my dog. He's on parole. He's a killer. My daughter has a miniature poodle. He's on parole right now.
I think the dog loves you, man.
So what a guy does, the first round, he does every round. So, hey. So I just watch a couple of rounds and I say, boy, that's what you need to. Hey, pick your own yard to piss on. And the guy's like, nah, but that's, man, look, if you watch that tape, I said, watch the first rounds and go to rounds 9 and 10, and what do you see? They said, but it's the same thing. I said, thank you.
Yeah. That's how it is.
You know what I mean?
I always say that, too. You don't see people changing tactics. That's why Floyd Mayweather's so great, because you see a constant change in anything that comes his way. He'll adapt to it and change his whole fight plan.
You know what Floyd has, you can't teach.
No.
God gave him the gift, and I'm happy for him. I mean, I've known him a long time, since he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that, that he's doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? But, if you notice in the fight with Cotto, Roger didn't tell him one damn thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't.
All he kept saying was, whoop that motherfucker's ass.
Yeah.
Whoop that motherfucker's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, it works for him, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Meldrick Taylor was like, in his day, he was like Floyd Mayweather, and you fought him.
But the difference between Meldrick and Floyd was that Meldrick didn't have the best defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Watch those shorts, lady. Ooh, look out now.
What are you seeing, buddy?
Huh?
I said, what are you looking at?
My neighbor, she just took her shorts and made them into a thong. She know my wife ain't here. That's why she did it.
Is that off the record?
Yeah, that's off the record. Yeah. But you're right. You know what I mean? But Meldrick just didn't have the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't miss Meldrick.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. That's the sad situation he's in today. You know?
Oh man, it breaks my heart, man.
Yeah. And were you nervous going into that fighting Meldrick Taylor?
Nah, man. I went into the fight with an ear infection. I said I'm gonna go out in the first 2 rounds, try to get that motherfucker out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't believe in pulling out of fights, man. That just wasn't my MO.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck it, I'm here. I mean, the doctor was like, you got to take this medication. Larry told me a new asshole after that. But me and Larry are good friends. I love Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Larry said, but if you ever fucking come in a fight taking that kind of medication, again, I'll suspend your ass.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I just don't want to pull out, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, what are you talking about, man? He goes, you lost your title, man. Told motherfucker you should have beat.
Hmm.
I mean, but it's one under the bridge, so it is what it is.
Yeah. And what was it like fighting Meldrick that night? Being second on, take everything.
Man, it's funny. People ask about Meldrick and Pernell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they weren't the best guys I fought.
No.
I mean, the smartest guy I fought, to be honest with you, the smartest guy I fought was Sal Manby.
Wow.
He was the smart.
What made it obvious how smart he was?
The way he could survive, and that motherfucker had a shot to the liver, brother.
Mm.
Woo! Man, he just knew how to place his shots.
Yeah.
I mean, and the way he can just roll with shots, it make you miss. I mean, it'd be like, fuck, man, you know what I mean? He was very deceiving, man.
Yeah. I think I heard that before. I forgot who was that said it, but someone said when talking about Mambi, that he was.
He was a bad man, and I fought him when he was 39 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and that motherfucker was slick as axle grease, man. I gotta give it to him. Matter of fact, after I fought him, he was getting ready to fight Glenwood Brown. And I told Glenwood Brown and him, I said, look here, man, don't sleep on an old man. And Glenwood fought him 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
He beat the brakes off Glenwood, almost knocked him out.
Yeah. Made you look better.
Huh?
It made you look better.
Exactly. Right, I said, he's slick, man. I said, he's slick.
Yeah. But Glenwood didn't listen to you.
No, they wouldn't listen, man. They thought they had all the answers.
The real beast. How'd you feel losing that title that night? Were you?
You know, man, it hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And honesty, I should say, is that I thought that I'd get a rematch right away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. But at the same time, I wanted to move up in weight. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that 140 wasn't for me no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching you. So I knew 140 wasn't for me no more. So you know, I wasn't the type that really sat back and got upset over a loss. I'm like, look, you learn and you move on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how.
Then Meldrick fought Chavez soon after that. What were you thinking when you watched that fight?
I never see the fight, to be honest. I was training for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother called me and said, man, Meldrick got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it because I felt it should have been me. And at the time I was training for a fight, so I really wasn't focusing on that.
Yeah. How about your
I was focused on what I had to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta take care of your business. What's right in front of you, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Then you fought Edwin Corrette. What do you remember about that fight?
I had a bad hand I had a bad knuckle going into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the second round, I hit him with a right hand over the top.
Mm-hmm.
My knuckle swelled up.
Wow.
And I said to myself, fuck. So I just used one hand. I beat him with just a left jab.
Yeah. So easy time with the jab.
Yeah.
And what about Tony Baltazar? What do you remember about that fight?
Interesting, but Baltazar. He knocked me down in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember anything to the ninth.
Wow.
I was fighting off instinct. And you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
True, God is my witness. In my mind, I knew I was in a fight. I didn't know who I was fighting. But I just bought a new truck. Where you going? You taking the show from me? I'm heartbroken. In my mind, I said to myself, if I lose this fight, they're going to take my truck from me. So I just kept fighting. Then in the ninth round, I saw, the round card girl said round 9. So I looked at Al, I said, yo, what the fuck happened to rounds 2 through 8?
Indeed.
And he said, keep doing what you're doing. I said, what is that? He said, boxing him. But up until then, I don't remember shit, man.
How come? Did he hit you with something, or was?
Yeah, he hit me with a left hook in the second round, knocked me down.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't remember nothing after that. I just got up, man, and just pulled my ass off.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, he didn't win a round after that. I boxed the shit out of him.
I thought maybe he headbutted you, but.
Nah, he hit me with a left hook, but I felt like a sniper hit me out the audience.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, I got up. I don't know how I did, but I got up.
Mm-hmm.
And referee said go to the neutral corner. I went to the neutral corner.
Yeah.
Arthur McCanter Jr. was the referee.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, man, I boxed the shit out of him.
Wow. Well, it's good to know you got it in you if you need it.
Yeah.
How about your fight with Gary Jacobs? Is that the same guy that Pernell fought a few years later?
Yeah.
From like
I'm
Ireland?
gonna tell you a story about Gary Jacobs, man. I was on my way to. I went to New Jersey. I was getting ready to start training to fight Gene Hatcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to camp, and I get to camp on a Friday. I go to the gym that Saturday and shake out. Saturday night, I go to the movies with my wife. And we come from the movies, and I get a phone call from Al. No, matter of fact, after I left the gym that day, I was reading the New York Post. They had a big article on Gary Jacobs. Because he was training in the Catskills, and he was fighting on the undercard of Rosario. So I'm like, damn, this kid don't look too bad. But I said, you know, he's from Scotland Island somewhere. This motherfucker probably can't fight, you know. So that night, Al calls me. He goes, hey, kid. I said, what's up, Al? He goes, there's a break in the card. Rosario pulled out. I said, okay, what's happening? He says, this kid, Gary Jacobs, undefeated. You know, they won't let you take the fight. I said, when is it? He says, next Sunday. I said, take it. So he said, you crazy? I said, no. He said, you only got a week to train. I said, what are they paying? He said, $50,000. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you want to cut a $50,000 in 1 week or cut a $15,000 after 5 weeks?
And what did he say?
I said, we can't. I said, we got to take it out. I said, we start training tomorrow and Sunday. We box Monday to Thursday. If we don't feel right, we get a letter from a doctor saying I'm sick or something. But we can't turn it down. So he said, okay, we took it. Sunday, we went to the gym. I worked the floor Sunday. And then Monday through Thursday, I boxed this kid named Adam Garland, a couple other guys. Gotcha, baby. And then Friday, I'm like, I'm going to beat this motherfucker. Because kid, I had no southpaw sparring.
No.
I was like, kid, you crazy? I'm like, we're going to beat this motherfucker. And then when I saw him at the win, I thought, I know I'm going to beat the shit out of this motherfucker. This motherfucker can't beat me, man. I didn't watch no tape on him or nothing. So I said to myself, I'm going to go my wife was like, are you crazy? I said, baby, listen, I'm going to beat this motherfucker. I said, babe, I got fucking 60 fights. I can't beat this motherfucker. I might as well just quit. He said, you only trained a week. I'm like, so what? I was only off for 2. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I mean, they made the contract for 148 plus 1. I'm like, I'm good. Don't worry. And I came out in the first round. I cracked him with a hard right hand. Had his respect early. I bullshitted my way through the first 7 rounds. Took off rounds 8 and 9 and won the 10th round.
That's it.
I mean, man, that was it, man. You know, I'm like, what the fuck, man? 50,000, the easiest 50,000 ever made.
So everyone knew to listen to you next time.
Yeah. Everybody's like, my mother, I said, Mom, don't worry, I got this guy, Mom, don't worry. I said, trust me. I had good sparring. I said, look, I was a good 3 or 4 days of sparring. I'll get this motherfucker. And I beat him.
Yeah. And then after that, you fought Raphael Williams. What do you remember about that fight?
The funny thing with Raphael Williams is that he was trained by my old trainer, Hector Roca. And the year before that, I was at a fight at the Felt Forum, and he challenged me. He was like, yo, you next, buddy. I want you. I'm going to beat your ass. Whatever. So, you know, we fought him, you know, and Hector trained him, and I trained, 2.5 weeks for the fight, 2.5, 3 weeks. I was like, kid, I'm like, man, just book the fight. I got this motherfucker.
Another one.
Yep. I said, I ain't worried about that, man. I can beat this motherfucker. Like, kid, I don't know, kid. I said, I'll book it, man. And then once I knocked him down the first time, I'm like, I might not knock him out, but I'm going to knock his ass down again. You can bet your ass on that. And I caught him again, knocked him down again. And Hector, you know, Hector looked at me, you know, before the fight, like, I know you're going to beat my man. Hector put him in survival mode. So I'm like, man, I'm not worried about this motherfucker.
So easy time.
Because right before that, I fought Joe Manley. I mean, I beat Joe Manley, and I was in good shape. So I was on there for a couple of weeks. And I was like, yo, buddy, you know, I said, man, we in there.
Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I'm 150. We got to be 47, 48. Man, don't worry about it.
That's it. They knew to keep listening to Buddy.
Yep, I said, because, you know, I stayed in the gym, and the days I didn't go to the gym, I always ran. So, you know, I was like, I don't need no 5, 6 weeks, man. Just give me a good week or 2. I'll be all right. For these guys, I'll be all right.
Yeah, so you'd stay in shape all the time?
Yeah. When I moved up to 47, matter of fact, no, I'm lying. I always stayed in the gym, even when I didn't have a fight. Dominic instilled that in me.
Yeah. That's what I heard about. I heard you were a gym rat. Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Dominic instilled that in me. I used to travel to Jersey. They'd be like, man, why you going to Jersey? You ain't got no fight.
Mm-hmm.
I still got to train.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you do. You're a pro.
Man, I want to get caught short.
Yeah. How about your fight with Jose Leonard Bermudez?
That was when I ruptured my bicep tendon.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say about a month or two, let's say 2 months before that fight. I seen him fight in Atlantic City. He fought a Spanish kid out of New York. And they was priming him for Glenwood Brown or Aaron Davis. So I went to the fight, and he fought a kid out of New York. I can't think of his name, a Spanish kid. But he stopped. But it took him 9 rounds. Bobby Goodman said, buddy, what do you think about fighting him? Me and my wife was sitting ringside. I said, Bobby, I can beat that motherfucker, Bobby. He's like, what? I said, he's too methodical. I said, Bobby's too slow. He gonna hit me with that shit. Bobby was like, you sure about that? I said, yeah, because, you know, this is open date on CBS in July. I said, Bobby, take it. And then I went home that weekend, and Monday I went to camp. No, I'm lying. I took a week off because he had just fought. So I waited a week, make sure the fight was done. I went to camp for the fight. And, you know, my 3rd round, I ruptured my bicep tendon. But I didn't know it was ruptured. I thought I had a Charlie horse on my arm. And I told Al, I said, Al, man, I got a frog in my fucking arm. I was like, what the fuck is a frog? I said, man, just rub it. And because my bicep had rolled up. I mean, and, but shit, at the end of the fight, the doctor was like, man, you got a ruptured bicep tendon.
Wow.
And then I went to the hospital in Atlantic City, but the waiting room in there was too fucking long. So I told my friend, look, man, take me to Long Island. He's like, what? I said, man, take me home, man. I go to the hospital in Long Island, man. Fuck that. I'm not waiting there all day. And I went to Long Island, and went to the doctor. I went to the emergency room. They called the doctor, and he said, look, man, go home, pack your bag, because you're going to be in the hospital for a week.
Wow.
I'm like, what? He said, he says, you need surgery.
Wow.
So I was checked into the hospital that Monday. No, I'm lying, that Tuesday. And they did the surgery, and, you know what I mean? They told me I couldn't fight again no more. So my career was over.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know that. I never heard of that. I never
he told me, he said, man, he told me if I fight again, he said it would be at least a year.
Wow.
So I said, Doc, let me get this right. I said, if I fought 7 rounds with the shit ruptured, why do I gotta wait a whole year? He said, buddy, he said, we had to reattach it to the bone. He said, so you just can't come right back. I'm like, okay, Doc, I ain't gonna argue with you, you're the doctor. But in my mind, I'm like, shit, this motherfucking crazy, man. Because, you know, I had bills. I mean, my money was low. So I said, I gotta get back to doing what I do best. So when they took the cast off, they had me go to therapy. And I said, how I looking, man? I said, I'll be back before the end of the year. Like, you're crazy. Now, I had the surgery in July. August. August, I had the surgery. I fought in January.
Some Willie Pep stuff.
I fought in January. I fought a kid named, his last name was Alexander. I can't remember his first name. Out of Philadelphia. I fought him on the Aaron Davis Mercury Taylor card.
Okay.
Atlantic City. I knocked him out in the 9th round with left hook, of all punches. Because it was my left bicep. So I knocked him out with left hook. And then shit, I was back on course.
So good. What did people say to you about it? Like, did you get the miraculous comeback? People shocked? Surprised people?
I knocked him down. See, I had to come back. I'm going to tell you the truth story. I had to come back because I was broke.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask
Madison
you.
Square Garden said if I could come back, they'd give me a signing bonus of $300,000.
Wow.
So I'm like, shit, I'm coming back. I don't give a fuck. I needed that $300,000.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get the whole $300,000 because I had to split it with my managers, but shit.
Yeah. Oh.
You know what I mean? But shit, so I came back, and then they got me on the undercard, and I got $50,000 for the show. For the fight, I'm like, shit, fuck it, man. I mean, I was scared. I was nervous because I knocked him down in the first or second round with a left hook.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a little pull on my arm, but I said, but that's all in your mind. You know what I mean? The rehab place I went to, I got to say, was really good to me.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Long Island. They were really, really good. I mean, they're real good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the guy who ran it, name was Mike Rosenhaus. I'll never forget, man. And I had a lady help me. Her name was Kim Schumacher.
Mm-hmm.
She was helping me with my arm. She said, "You crazy?" I said, "Babe, I'm fighting. Fuck what you talking about."
Mm-hmm.
So I came back, and my wife was pregnant. So I said, "Shit, man, I got a kid coming. Man. I got another kid coming."
Mm-hmm.
So I fought Joe Alexander. That was his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I stopped him.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, shit, I was off and running.
Mm-hmm. Now, when they told you might have fought for the last time, what were you thinking? What went through your mind when you thought maybe you'd never fight again?
Nah, that. I said, when I get this cast off, I'm fighting again.
Yeah. So you didn't think of, like, what am I going to do? Like, what kind of job am I going to get and stuff?
I couldn't. Not at all.
Yeah. You just kept a good mind,
I
positive,
had no choice.
positive
I had no choice. I was in a situation where I had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I had at that time, see, my wife was pregnant. I already had 5 kids from different women.
Wow.
I mean,
but he doing it, making.
I had about 5 cars. I'm like, yo, I gotta fight, man.
Yeah, you had to fight.
Yeah, I gotta fight. I can't be bullshitting. And bam.
So after
I was
Meldrick,
on my side, man. I came back.
yeah, you did. After Meldrick, you put 16 wins together, and you got a shot at Simon Brown. We talked about Simon a little bit already, but what kind of fighter was Simon Brown, and what was that fight like?
I had studied. I always studied Simon.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed one thing about Simon was that he was a slow starter. But after like the 5th or 6th round, that motherfucker pick up the pace.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, in order to beat him, you got to be able, when he picks it up 1 notch, you got to pick it up 2 notches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he fought a guy named Al Bumblebee Long. And Al Long was out boxing him for 5 rounds. You know? Well, Simon walked him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same with Maurice Blocker.
Yeah. Tough guy.
Aaron Price. They got tired.
Mm-hmm.
I said, we can't get tired of this motherfucker. So, I had the fights before Simon Brown. And then I was in South Carolina, getting ready for a fight. Finally got him Tyrone Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And Madison Square Garden said to me, you have a choice. You can fight Glenwood Brown for the vacant IBF title for $200,000. Or you can fight Simon Brown for $800,000.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you want? I said, why would you even ask me some shit like that? So my manager was like, said, well, buddy, we're fighting Simon Brown, who's Don King's fighter, on Don King's show in Las Vegas. I said, I wouldn't give a damn if it was at Don King's house. You got 200,000, 800,000. Either fight is tough. So why would I waste my time with Glenwood Brown for $200,000? It don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we was in South Carolina. They called Don King. So Don King's on the phone. And Don King said, well, buddy, take my speakerphone, you pick up the phone. I pick up the phone. He said, look, hey, you know Don. You're the white man, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, Don, I don't want to hear none of that. Do we have a fight? He said, you got the fight, buddy.
Mm.
So, fight time or more, I beat him. Now I got the fight with Simon Brown. And Don King says, okay, I'm going to do the fight, but I don't want Madison Square Garden a part of none of the promotion. So, Bobby comes like, well, buddy, I don't know. Bobby said, well, buddy, we'll step aside. But it's going to cost you $100,000 out of your purse. So I said, okay, you got it. I said, but you got to pay me the other $700,000. It's your job to get the $700,000 from Don King. They were like, we don't know. I said, look, Bobby, only your fighters got beat. Everybody about to lose their jobs at Madison Square Garden. Which is true. They're all going to lose their jobs. From the president on down. So they thought about it and they came to me. They said, okay. I said, all right, cool. So the fight was originally scheduled for September. Then it got postponed. Then it got switched to November. And which was cool. So, Madison Square Garden paid me. They got their money from Don. Everybody was happy, but it was the day after Thanksgiving. And everyone from Madison Square Garden left their families Thanksgiving night to fly to Vegas.
Wow.
So everybody's job was at stake. But I knew at night that motherfucker wasn't going to beat me. I felt that last week when I was training in Vegas. And my brothers, I said, my brothers, man, look here, man. Don't worry about shit. Whoop this motherfucker's ass. I told my wife when she got off the plane and she got to my hotel room, she came and she looked at me, she gave me a hug. She said, how you feeling? I said, baby, our daughter was just born in April. I said, we're taking the title home to baby girl. She said, okay. And my mom would always look at me before a fight.
She look at you?
She look at me. She said, you look good, boy. She told me that. I said, this motherfucker definitely ain't beating me. My mother always told me, my mother always come look at me before a fight. She be at the fight, but she have her head between her legs.
How's your mom today?
My mom?
Yeah.
My mom has Alzheimer's right now, man. To be honest. I'm sad, She's my girl. I just left New York visiting her.
Yeah. That's too bad.
I try to see as much as I can. Because, she was our backbone.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
And one of the proudest moments of my career was when I got that signing bonus from Madison Square Garden. I gave my mother half of it. She just put this away for your retirement, Ma. Or I said, oh, you can do whatever you want to do with it. It's yours.
Wow. And what a son. She got
just looked at me. And she said, all right. But she gave it to my brother. Hold on one second. You just came back to show me your shorts again. Yeah, sure she did. How you gonna go home and forget your keys? That's like closing the barn door after the horse ran out. So that was just one of my proudest moments. It was when my mom retired. Was being able to, see them out, baby. Was being able to send her on a cruise. And things that, as a kid, that her friends did, that she wasn't able to do, because I'm gonna tell you, when we were kids, my mother went shopping one day. We was in Pathmark. And back then, you could buy everything at Pathmark. Sneakers, they were fake sneakers, but shit.
Yeah.
You could buy everything at Pathmark.
I remember.
Brother had a field trip. Mother got the stuff for his field trip. She bought herself some underwears and bras. And when we got to the counter, my mother didn't have enough money. So the lady said to my mom, you gotta put some stuff back. You put back her bra and her panties. When we got home that night, she was in the bathroom washing out her panties, her bras. She hung them up. I was like, damn. I was about 7 or 8 years old. Maybe 9. I remember it like it was yesterday. So when I first won the title from Frankie Wan, I gave my sister like $1,500. I said, I want you to go to Macy's or J.C. Penney and buy all the bras and panties you can for this, for Mama. My sister's like, what? I said, just buy it. When she came home, I took the bag in the room and threw it in my mother's bed. I said, what the fuck am I doing with all these bras and panties? I said, Ma. And I told her the story. She just started crying. I said, I remember that day. The sacrifice you made for us. You didn't have to, but you did. You could have put our stuff back. We didn't need that shit. You put it back, you came home and washed out your underwear. And you hung them up in the goddamn bathroom before you went to work at night. So with things like that, I just never forgot.
Yeah.
When I won the title from Frankie Wong, I had my mother's whole house remodeled.
That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
He was like, what? He's like, why you doing this? I said, Mom, listen, you've been in this house a long time, and you ain't going no goddamn way. It's about time this house got a new look. And I had the whole house remodeled for him, and the driveway redone for him. And I bought a new car.
That's your mom.
You know. Yeah, I mean, listen, man. You know what I mean? She's my girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I see her now, with the Alzheimer's, it breaks my heart.
Yeah. No.
Knowing the struggle she went through for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, she worked for the state. So you work for the state, you get paid every 2 weeks. So in the wintertime, twice a month we ran out of oil. I mean, we had to keep the pots on the stove with hot water and the fucking oven open.
Yeah.
To heat the house, you know what I'm saying? We had a 3-story house.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah. That was me.
After I
like
became
2 years
champ,
ago.
after I became champ, I kept my mother's fucking tank full. I told her, man, you just come and send me the bill.
You're the boss.
I mean, everybody's like, boy, man, look, man, I know what my mother went through for us. I know what she went. I know the sacrifices she made. Yeah. So me, and I have an older brother who had a successful business, who always looked out for my mom. He always looked out for her. I mean, the hoopties, I'm like, man, you ain't driving my motherfucking hoopties. She's like, what the fuck is a hoopty? I said, those piece of shit cars you've been driving. She looked at me like I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I would slow down. My 2 daughters. You know what I mean? Like what I would do was I would go out and buy myself a car. Let those windows up. I'll go out and buy a car for myself. What people think it was for myself. Then I come home and park it in the driveway and take my mother's car and leave the keys. And she'd be like, what the hell is this? I said, that's your new car, Mom. Because if I told her I was going to buy her a car, she wouldn't have that. You know what I mean? She wouldn't tolerate that. Can you hold 1 second? My daughter just got back from a field trip.
Yeah, man. Hold it.
All right, I'm ready. So we just always, I just always make sure that Mama Dukes was straight.
Yeah. You make sure everyone's straight, I can tell.
Yeah.
Daughter, neighbors, wife.
Neighbors, yeah. My mother's friends.
It just takes everyone.
Whatever made Mama Dukes happy.
That's it. What'd you do for Mother's Day for her? Did you go see her? Is that what you did?
Oh Oh yeah, what happened was my wife's grandmother died last Thursday. So I drove to New York, and then on Mother's Day, my brother called me and said, "Yo, man, I'm cooking breakfast. You and your wife come over." So I was going to leave my mother's house. I said, "Mom, get dressed." She said, "I already ate." I said, "Mom, get dressed." She said, "Where we going?" I said, "Don't worry about it." But my wife told me. She said, "Buddy, bring your mother with her." So we took her to my brother's house, and then my oldest nephew, which is her oldest grandson, he was there, surprised her. And she had her great-grands there, her grands, her great-grands, and she just sat there, man, and she ate again, and we just reminisce about the good old days, man. When we were kids, and we tell her how we used to sneak girls in the house when she go to work at night. She's like, "Oh, you motherfuckers can talk that shit now." Of course, man. But she was our mom, my dad. I mean, when I first had my first kid, when my son's mother was pregnant with my son, I was in high school. My mother said to me, she said, "Listen," she said, "You know when you go to McDonald's now, you eat a Big Mac?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You can't eat a Big Mac no more." She said, "I just took them out." Well, baby, they went to your soccer thing.
Why?
They had a meeting.
Why did China go?
Because China wanted to go. No, not yet. Daddy's doing the interview. Let Daddy finish.
We're about to go to McDonald's.
You guys are going to McDonald's? You got money for McDonald's? But then y'all ain't going to McDonald's. So she said, "You can't eat a Big Mac no more, son." She said, "You got to get a hamburger. You got to cut it into 4 slices. And you get 1, the mother get 1, and the baby get 2. I mean, and she said, it's tough being a parent. But then at the end of the day, I wound up being a single parent. I mean, when my son became 3 months old, me and his mom split up, and she left him with me. I mean, can't tell not dad. Don't let her poop daddy at home. No, but don't. Okay. So
after you beat Simon Brown, how did it feel coming all the way back after?
Oh man, now that championship I enjoyed.
Yeah. So the second
I
time
enjoyed
you
that. I came home, and my daughter. I hadn't seen my daughter in like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. And I took my wife, my mother-in-law, my dope one. She's 21 now. You ready to knock her out? I mean, we all went to dinner. I mean, that championship I got to enjoy. And they had a big party for me. And Bismarck, who I went to junior high school with, was the DJ. I mean, Bismarcky. I went to junior high with him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I grew up with Bismarck.
Wow. Yeah. Nice time to grow up in New York.
So, I enjoyed that championship. Believe me, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. So the second
I had
time
a great time with
sweeter.
that championship.
Yeah. That's good.
I mean, I had non-title fights, title fights. I enjoyed it. I had a great time, man.
Yeah,
for the 2 years I had it, I enjoyed it.
That's what I loved about you, man. You and James Toney would fight and have non-title fights and title fights. You just like fighting.
So it was great, man, and I mean, my family got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
My kids got to enjoy it more. I mean, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Until I had to go before the state senate. They tried to say I had mob ties.
Would you have to testify? Jesus.
I had to go testify, man.
What were they trying to say about it? Like, why did they claim you to have mob ties?
It's funny. My manager, Stewie, was good friends with John Gotti. But Stewie's last name is Wiener. He has a Jewish last name. So they tried to say it was Al Certo. But John Gotti hated Al Certo. But when I fought Simon Brown, when I was a 10-1 underdog, John Gotti sent this crew to Vegas to bet on me. But they was friends with my manager, Stewie. And when I got back, they came with briefcases full of money, and they left with suitcases full of money.
Wow.
Then they had a big party for me in Queens on Woodhaven Boulevard.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great.
What was for dinner?
Shit, man, I can't even remember, man. I ate everything that day. And you know, John had broke with my manager, Stewie. They were just good friends, and John Gotti loved boxing. But a few times I went to dinner with him, and they had the feds had pictures of me at dinner with him. So when Sammy the Bull went down, he tried to say John Gotti had a piece of me, which wasn't true. So the Senate found pictures of me having dinner with him, where the feds had it. So I had to go testify, man.
That's crazy.
But you know what they did to me, though, man? There's a girl that I was fucking on the side. She had went to dinner with me once for one of John Gotti's guys. They picked her to be on the fucking jury, dog.
No, wow.
I was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I had the feds coming to the gym every day, man.
Jeez.
Feds were coming to the gym every day. I was like, what the fuck, man?
That's crazy.
I'm like, yo. And then when I went to testify, I'm like, listen. The guys took me to dinner. So what? I said, I go to dinner with a lot of people. They were boxing fans. They took me to dinner.
Yeah.
I asked them, I said, how many niggas you see in the mob? They said, don't use that language in here. Okay, how many black people you see in the mob? They said, none. I rest my case.
Yeah. That's it.
So it was crazy, man. I read it between 92 and 94. I went through a lot of shit.
Yeah. All with the same stuff, like related to the same thing?
Huh?
Related
I
to the
went
same
through
thing?
shit with the Gotti thing, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
And then with my shoulder.
Man. That's crazy, though.
With my shoulder, I had a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I had a $20 million lawsuit.
Yeah.
I had the lawsuit won.
The lawsuit won?
I had it won.
Oh.
The lawyer said to me, buddy, Al Serta's coming tomorrow to give his deposition. If he tells the truth, you'll be between $10 and $15 million richer. This motherfucker goes there, turns against me.
Oh my God.
I lost the lawsuit, man.
Man. I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
nobody knows it.
Oh, shit.
Went against me, man.
So that ruined everything, huh?
You know what he says to me? Oh, the mob would have killed us. Man, get the fuck out of here. Wouldn't have fucking killed us, man.
Stupid. No, it would piss me off, man.
I mean,
Damn. So what'd you do to him? You just stopped talking to him after that?
I don't speak to him. If I see him, I say hello, but that's it.
Yeah, so you try to
I
keep...
think so, too. But, you know,
Yeah?
I mean, it cost me $10 to $15 million.
Man.
Cost the lawyer was going to get 10%, $1 million.
I don't even know how you get over that.
You can't.
Man.
You know what you got to do, man? You just got to say, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah?
He's like, oh, kid, the mob was going to kill us. They probably would have killed you. They wasn't fucking with me. But see, what happened was I had a lot of friends in Brooklyn. They're all Muslim. They started doing security for me. I only like that. You know what I mean? And you know, listen, man, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. The mob don't fuck with black people. Especially the Muslims. They don't fuck with them.
No, I wouldn't think so. You know?
And, I mean, my manager, you know, he tried to set me up one day. He called me one morning and says, I need you to come to the gym early. I said, okay. But I just felt something was strange. So I called my friend in Brooklyn. I said, yo, dog, I got to go to the gym early. I got to be there at 10 o'clock. I said, I want you and the fellas to come about 10:30. I said, no problem, buddy. So I get there at 10 o'clock. I got his little mafia buddies up there. They want to talk to me about the lawsuit. I'm ignoring them. In the gym that we was in, when you open the door, a buzzer goes off. So I was like, who's that, buddy? I'm like, I don't know. My Muslim friends came in. And they all were strapped. So I hugged my friend. He goes, why are you carrying this gun? He said, in case anybody come here to fuck with my man Buddy. Our mafia buddies got up and walked out the building. And I was like, kid, what are you trying to do? Get me killed? Man, fuck, man. You trying to throw me under the bus. You trying to throw me under the bus to these motherfuckers, man.
You said that to Al? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I'm like, you selling me out, man.
What are you thinking? That's crazy.
Oh, kid, you know what he was mad at, man? He wasn't going to get a piece of the money.
Oh, man. Think he threw
He
it
didn't
in the
want to
bus
see,
like that, huh?
he didn't want to see me get that money, man.
That's terrible. Hater.
Yeah.
A closet hater. Man.
He knew I had a lot of friends, and 90% of them were Muslim, out of Brooklyn, who carried guns, who didn't give a fuck about none of them motherfuckers. And he knew that. The motherfucker was like, they told Al, you gotta throw the kid under the bus.
That's fucked.
Because my friend told Al, he said, Al, if anything happened to Buddy, I'm coming for your ass. He said, but I'm gonna get your family first.
Wow.
I mean, that's just how it was, man. So, you know, it was. So when that happened, man, and he threw on the bus with the lawsuit, man, it kind of like killed my drive for fighting. And after I went through coming back to fight for the title again, when they told me I fought a kid named Pat Coleman, they said, buddy, you got the rematch with Parnell. I started crying. My wife looked at me and she was like, what's the matter? Why are you crying? I said, baby, they said I couldn't do it. I'm back. I said, but you want to know something? She said, what? I said, I don't want to fight anymore. She's like, what? I said, I don't want to do this anymore. All my energy was between March of 93 and August of 94. My energy was all put into proving people wrong. Because when the doctor did the surgery on my shoulder, he said my career was over. It was a tough road back. Tough.
Yeah. I remember.
And I didn't take no easy fights.
No.
My first fight back, I fought a guy named Nick Rooper.
Nick Rooper.
Then I fought a guy. Then I fought Jesse James Hughes.
Cowboy. Tough guy.
I fought Livingston Bramble.
Yeah. Ex-champ.
Kevin Pompey, Pat Coleman, then Parnell. But after the Pat Coleman fight, my desire was gone to fight. And if I was smart with my money, I would have quit that day. But I wasn't. So I had to continue to fight.
Yeah. Your heart was gone, though.
It was gone, man. It was gone. I mean, because mentally, I've done so much to get back what they said I couldn't.
So you think
that?
Yep, go on. I'm sorry.
That at that point in my life, I was 30. I made a lot of money, but I spent a lot of money. I was taking care of my family and everybody else's family. That I had to.
I hear you, man.
But deep in my heart, the desire was gone.
And you think it was because the dragged out court cases and stuff kind of helped add to it?
Not even a court case. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. Is that when the doctor did my surgery, when I had my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up, and my mother and them was there. My mother was crying. I'm like, what's the matter, Ma? Just something. They said, you got to quit fighting. I said, no, Ma, they wrong. Then they said to me that I can't do it anymore. And then when I learned that all of them, I knew all along that my shoulder was fucked up, that they had told everybody not to tell me my shoulder was bad. I'm like, these motherfuckers I trusted for 10 years would turn their back on me. I'm like, nah, I gotta prove them wrong. So I had the surgery in March, for in October.
Another amazing comeback.
Doctor said, buddy, you come back too soon. I said, Doc, I got something to prove. And as a man, I had to show the motherfuckers that they were wrong. Man, can you hold 1 second?
Yep.
All right. And I had to prove them wrong. So I put all my energy into proving them wrong, instead of doing it the right way. But I just thought at that point in time that was the right way.
You just had to show some pride.
Right. And I came back, and I fought, and then once they told me I had the rematch with Pernell, at that point I was done. Mentally I was done. And my wife said to me, why are you going to take the fight? I said, baby, we need the money. My wife said to me, why don't you just get a job?
Sucks.
She said, you got a great name, buddy. Just get a job. But, honey, that's all I know. And she said, well, listen, I'll work 3 jobs if I have to, until you decide on what you want to do. She said, but don't do it if you're not 100% into it. She goes, I know you, buddy. If you're not 100% mentally, you're not going to put your all into it. I didn't. She was right.
Your wife knows you.
I wasn't even married at the time.
Oh, yeah? You got a good lady.
I wasn't married. Yeah, but I always call her my wife because we've been together since 1989.
Wow.
I mean, she stuck with me through thick and thin, man. I mean, she was there for me when I didn't have, and when I had again. She was always there for me.
Yep. Yeah, no.
Hold on 1 second, please.
Yep.
Call your mom back. That was easier for you, Chantal. Off right. Hello. Good morning. So, sorry about that.
No problem.
So it was more tough mentally, And I said to her, my wife, I said, I'm gonna try to get him out early. My wife said, okay. She said, whatever you say, baby. And she was nervous. And my wife never gets nervous. But she was worried about it.
She was nervous for your second fight with Pernell?
Yeah. Because she knew that my heart wasn't into it.
Yep.
She knew my heart wasn't into it. But I said, honey, don't worry, I'm going to be all right. So one thing for sure, I said, he ain't knocking me out. I said, I'm going to try to get him early. If I don't get him, because it's funny. The first week of training for the fight, I tore a tendon on my shoulder. It tore down into my bicep. And I called my therapist. Patty Castle was her name. I said, Patty, I need you to come see something. She came and she looked at my arm. She said, buddy, you got a tear. She goes, you're going to need surgery. I said, fuck that. I'm not doing it. She said, I'm just letting you know. You're not going to be able to do no left hooks. So, I take the blame. I don't blame nobody else. I just said, I'm going to try to gun this nigga out. After I knocked him down, the motherfucker got on his motherfucking bicycle And when I got tired, then he started weighing my ass out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was great.
You know what I mean?
That was a...
But there was one time in the fight, he hit me with like a 20 piece. And we got in the clinch. He said, "Come on, buddy, just give up." I said, "Never, brother." Not me. You got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I ain't quitting. I got the never say die attitude.
Yeah. I remember
You might beat me. But motherfucker, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I remember I took that fight.
After that, I just, all the desire was gone. I was just doing it because it was all I knew.
Yeah.
Just paying the bills.
Yeah, you can't refuse a payday like that. That was a big payday.
Nah, you know what, man? To be honest with you, it was a big payday. But like, the first fight I got $1 million. The second fight I got $300,000.
Yeah, okay. I thought you went for the second fight. Oh, that's right. He kind of did you a favor. That's what they were thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I got $300,000. And, I was happy with that. Because I lived off that for a few months, until Uncle Sam got on my ass for a couple months later.
Yeah. Uncle Sam.
When Uncle Sam got on my ass, it was a wrap.
Yeah. No one could beat Uncle Sam. It's hard
I haven't had a bank account since.
Yeah. Just doing the Magoo thing.
Yeah. So, but all in all, man, I can't complain, man. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I was able to. My mom went to Italy,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Oh, your mom went to Italy? I was gonna.
Oh yeah, when I fought Patricio Oliva.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's where I left off.
Huh?
I was gonna ask you how you liked Italy when you went there, like for that Oliva fight.
Excuse me a second. Where you going? I didn't hear what you said. You better, hey, don't get grown. I had Italy was nice.
Were you happy?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I thought we was there too long. I couldn't get adjusted to the food or nothing.
I know. Don't like
I used to call my wife every day and fight with her. She'd be like, "Mother," she'd like, "Fucking go to sleep." I used to fight with her like a motherfucker. But my thing at that point, my mom was there having a good time. My brothers, my sister. I was able to take them to certain places in the world that, I had two brothers in the military. They got to see Europe, but nobody else in my family hasn't been out of fucking New York.
Yeah. Then after that, you fought Gennaro Leone. What do you remember about that fight?
Oh man, training for it when I hurt my shoulder. I hurt my shoulder. I was 3 weeks before the fight, and say if Gennaro Leone was getting $5 for the fight, we offered him $10 to step aside, fight the winner of me and Pernell. He said no. So I was forced into it. And my shoulder was bad, but they told me it was tendonitis. And I went through with the fight. I had the scary moment in the last round.
Yeah.
But I was fighting one-handed. But
you got the decision though.
Yeah. But I made like $10,000 for the fight, $12,000.
That's good.
Believe it or not.
That's good for that.
And then then it was on to the Pernell fight.
Yeah, you got that shot at Pernell.
He got the shot at me. He got the shot. I had the title.
Yeah.
But this is when I knew I was fucked. The morning of the fight, I pick up the newspaper and read that Pernell and Chavez had signed to fight already for my title. That's when I knew I was fucked.
Yeah.
I said, if I don't knock them out, they're gonna fuck me. Which they did.
Yeah.
But
what do you remember about that first fight? What do you remember? Like, what did you expect going into it from Pernell?
It wasn't as good as I thought.
No.
No.
What would you see that made you feel
I
that
said,
way?
you know what? When I watch the tape of the fight, I say to myself, if I had my left hook, I stop him. Because I was hitting with right uppercuts all night long. But I couldn't come back with the left hook. I get inside him with a right uppercut, wow, but I couldn't come back with the hook. And Georgie, Benton, the master, had Pernell jab in my shoulder.
Yeah.
And right out the gate, jab at my shoulder. Not my face, my shoulder. But on Pernell's behalf, I can say this. He did say, I was the first and only fighter that he knew could outthink him.
High praise. And what kind of relationship do you have with Pernell?
Actually, Pernell, I speak to him, but Pernell's still Pernell. He still thinks he's champion of the world. He still got that cocky attitude. But nigga, you've been retired now. Relax. It's over. You know what I'm saying? But he still feels he's champion of the world. He still has that cocky attitude.
Yeah.
But when I say we speak, we laugh, we bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he knows deep down inside. What time it is?
It's 7:30.
No, he knows what time it is.
Oh, so you're asking me. Yeah. And then, so what did you feel after the fight was over and losing to Pernell?
It didn't bother me. You know what bothered me the most in that fight?
What's that?
Seeing my son cry after the fight. That hurt me more than anything.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I mean, but I felt like I let him down.
Well, Pernell's not a killer puncher, so at least you weren't banged up looking.
So.
And was Pernell a harder puncher than you thought he was, though? Did he go to the body well? I thought he had some pretty good body shots.
He had good body shots, but like I say, he wasn't, to me, the best fight I've ever fought. He just caught me at the right time in the right place.
Yeah. And 8 months later, you were back. How'd you feel when you fought Nick Rupa after that surgery? And
I was nervous. That was the first fight I was ever nervous.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't getting paid a whole lot. I'm gonna give my shoulder fuck up now. I'm over.
Yeah.
But after the first round, I said I got him.
Yeah. I remember I saw Nick Rupa fight Terry Norris. I thought he fought him pretty good. Fought a pretty tough fight against Terry. You weren't impressed?
Listen, man. Georgie Benton. It's funny. Georgie Benton knew I couldn't throw left hooks. So he had Nick Rupa put his hand in front of his face, his right hand, to stop the right hand counters. I said, yeah, Georgie. You knew I couldn't throw the hook. And he started laughing. I said, but my goddamn jab was working. I could throw a straight punch, I just couldn't throw the hook. And Georgie laughed.
Yeah. So you got by Nick Rupa, and then you fought that guy James Hughes, tough guy. What was that fight
tough
like?
motherfucker.
Yeah. Crazy and tough.
I knew I was in a tough fight, but I saw him at the weigh-in chewing tobacco, spitting in a McDonald's cup. I said, ain't this a bitch?
He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
What kind of fight was it?
I just outboxed him, man. He came to whoop my ass.
How about that Bramble fight, Livingstone Bramble?
I was in great shape for that.
Yeah. Pretty easy fight though. Handling pretty easy.
Yeah.
You're getting older. Kevin Pompey. What about that fight?
Oh man, I was in good shape, and I just was ready for any and everything. But Kevin Pompey was going for every feint that I threw.
And your heart was out of it after that too, right? I mean, you didn't really want to fight anymore at that point in your career either.
No. I'm gonna tell you when. After I fought Pompey, I fought Pat Coleman.
Okay. And you won a split decision.
After that, I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
When they told me in the dressing room after that fight, that I had the rematch with Pernell. Once they told me that, I was, Chantal, don't park like that. Like, pull up a little more. He's backing out. Shut up. You have daughters, man?
Yes, 2 of them. They're little.
Oh, my daughter's 21. I'm going to knock her out.
I can see it coming with my 9-year-old already.
So,
No.
but after they told me in the dress room, after the after the Pat Coleman fight, that I had the rematch with Pernell. That was it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was done.
Yeah. So even the fight before that with Pompey, you were still totally in it, and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pompey fight, I had a ball in that fight, man. I was in great shape.
Yeah.
And it was at 150. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
After the first round, I just had fun with him.
And when you Pernell defeated you for your title, and then he fought Chavez. Did you think Pernell was going to beat Chavez?
Yeah.
You did. Did you ever come
thought he
close to fighting Chavez?
It was talks, but nothing ever happened.
Yeah. I thought I heard something about that happening before too, but never did pan out.
Nah.
And then you came back again after losing to Pernell. How serious was your comeback after coming back from Pernell? Did you ever find it again after that, or did it
First fight or the second?
After you fought him the second time and you got beat?
No, it was the desire was gone.
Yeah, it never came back.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah. So you fought Arturo's brother Joe.
Right.
And what'd you think of that fight? You just going through the motions at that point?
That's it. I mean, I fought at middleweight. I fought 160 pounds.
Yeah.
And I had to lose a half a pound at the weigh-in.
Yeah. Did you train at all for those things?
I trained. I boxed with the inmates from the jail over in Bergen County.
Mm-hmm.
But Jersey City, I used to go there twice a week and box with the inmates.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, I was just going through the motion.
So how come you took that fight with someone like Andrew Counsell if you weren't really in it? Was it just for the money at that point?
The money, that was it.
Yeah.
The IRS, I caught up with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I cut a deal with them to get them $5,000 after every fight. I got $50,000 for the fight. So
Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do. I mean, to say that I seriously trained for Andrew Counsell, no,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I mean, I didn't take it serious at all.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
Yeah.
That's the honest to God truth.
Yeah, I hear you. And after you fought Darren Mashinsky, he fought Fernando Vargas. What made you decide to call it a career at that point after fighting
Honestly, I
Mashinsky?
said, if I ever lose to a white boy, I'll quit. And he used to be my sparring partner.
Mm-hmm. No, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is that for that fight, the contract for like 150 something.
Mm-hmm.
The morning of the fight, I weighed 142 pounds.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I found out 3 years later. No. Let me rephrase that. I found out 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That, no, 3. I found out in January of 97.
Yeah.
And I found out 3 years later, well, I almost died in 2000. I had a thyroid problem. I had an overactive thyroid. I had a hypothyroidism, which was called Graves' disease.
Yeah.
And in 2000, I almost died, man. The doctor told me if I'd have waited another day or two, I'd have been a dead man. I had atrial fibrillation. I was pissing blood for 3 days straight. I mean, this shit was like tomato juice, man. And I was scared to go to the doctor. And to be honest with you, after the fight with Mashinsky, I came home and my wife said to me, she said, look, buddy, I'm going to be honest with you. She says, I know you've been with a lot of women in your life. She said, but there's something wrong with you. She says, I want you to go get tested for AIDS. And she says, if there's something wrong, then we handle it. She says, but we have to find out. She goes, you're too skinny, there's something wrong. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, I'll call you in a couple of days. It was the longest 2 days of my fucking life. And he called me back and said, no, James, you have AIDS, you're okay. So I continued to, go on, do my thing. I was here, there. I started training fighters, but I could never put on no weight. I used to sweat profusely, man. I used to sweat like, forget about it. And then in 2000, working for Don King, I was in West Palm Beach, and Oliver McCall had just fought. I was training Oliver McCall. And I got up and I told my wife, I said, I called her, she was in New York. I said, honey, I got a bad head cold. She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be in bed today. And then, like 2 days later, 1 second, I'll hook this wire, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
No.
Yeah. Then 2 days later, my wife called me. She said, how you feeling? I said, baby, I still got this fucking head cold. But at the same time, I was pissing blood. I didn't tell her that, though. I was pissing blood bad. I was like, fuck, man. Something's wrong. But, being stubborn, I said, nah, I'll be all right. And then she called my friend who was in the room next to me at the hotel in West Palm Beach. And she said, can you do me a favor? My friend was like, yeah. She goes, can you please take Buddy to the doctor? And my friend was like, Buddy, Gina wants you to go to the doctor. I'm like, man, I'm not going to the doctor. He said, boy, man, just do it for your wife. So I said, fuck it. I go to the doctor. I went to the Cleveland Clinic in Coconut Creek. And the doctor put the stethoscope to my heart. He took the stethoscope off. He says, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah. He goes, where's your wife? I'm like, what, doc? He said, young man, you're a dead man walking.
Oh, my God.
He goes, we need your wife in case anything happens to you. I'm like, what? So I called my wife. I'm crying on the phone. My wife said, what's the matter? I told her. So I called Don King's office, and they flew my wife and my kids on the next plane.
That's nice.
Don King saved they paid for everything.
Wow.
And the doctor says, if we don't get your heart rate down, we have a problem. So they gave me a shot because they want a urine sample from me. So when I get the urine sample, it was all red. It was all blood. So they gave me a shot, and the doctor says, come back in the morning. If things are not better, we're putting you in the hospital. So I didn't want to go to the hospital. So they gave me some beta blockers to slow my heart rate down. And I called my sister, because my sister I went to medical school, and my sister said, don't take them because it's too strong. It's going to stop your heart from beating. But shit, it was too late. Already I took the motherfuckers. So now I'm up all night. My wife's like, go to sleep. I'm like, I'm not closing my fucking eyes. I called the doctor the next morning. He said, listen, your sister doesn't understand the severity of your condition. He goes, we could, if we would have given you anything stronger, yeah. But this just to get your heart rate not even to normal, somewhere near normal. So long story short, I went back, and no lie, man, 2 days later, man, my urine was clear. The doctor was like, he says, man, I don't know. He goes, you're a fucking medical miracle. I'm like, we're talking about doctor. He said, listen, man, anybody else, what's the basketball player that dropped dead?
No, you mean Celtic, right?
Yeah.
All right. I forgot his name.
He told me if I'd have waited, Len Byers, right?
I thought it was Lewis. Something Lewis? Was it Len Byers?
Was it Len? I think it was Len Byers.
I know.
Well, anyway, he just said to me, that's how bad I was. The young man says, you don't understand the severity of this. He goes, I said, why you put me in the hospital, doc? He goes, what was we going to do in the hospital? We couldn't put you, he says, this is the best thing we can do for you right now. And so I was like, I ain't going to argue with you, the doctor. So now, thank God, I had the atrial fibrillation for about 3-4 years. I was on Coumadin, the blood thinner.
Mm-hmm.
I was on heart medication. Then they gave me a radioactive iodine pill to shrink my thyroid.
Hmm.
But that didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't take. So they did it again, and it finally worked. After the third, 3 times I had to do it.
Thank God, though.
It finally worked. So now I'm off the heart medication. I'm off the Coumadin. Now I just got to take thyroid. I got to take Synthroid for the rest of my life because I have no thyroid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all.
You know, so it was a scary moment for me.
Yeah.